King's Country at kingscountry.net. With me on the phone, I've got Claudia Nygaard. She's a singer-songwriter from Nashville, based in Nashville. She's going to be at the Seven Oaks Garden event place. That's a Southeast Texas listening room. That's tomorrow. Just in case you're wondering, that's
Yeah,
14865 Garner Road in Beaumont, Texas. I think it's right by the Pine Tree Lodge. Is this your first time to play that venue?
it is. I think it's my first time playing Beaumont, actually. I can't remember, but I travel a lot. But I think it's the first time for Beaumont.
Well, we're known for country music. I guess you would be described as more of a folk singer.
Well, really more Americana. I'm kind
Yeah.
of on. I'm kind of. I get compared to Guy Clark and John Prine a lot, where there's some folk to it, but a lot of story songs and I kind of ride that fence between folk and country.
We're looking forward to
So
tomorrow night. Looking forward to hearing you
I'm
tomorrow
looking
night.
forward to coming.
Yeah, we've got an opening
Thanks.
girl. Meredith Page is opening. She's from Lumberton. That's right from our neck of the woods. Again, it's tomorrow night.
Uh,
Doors open at 6:30, and I believe you go on right after Meredith tomorrow night.
yeah, and I think I'm looking forward to hearing her. I've not played the venue before, but I've heard really nice things about it from my radio promotion guy in Nashville. So looking
Yeah.
forward to that. I met Courtney up in Nashville when I was doing a show for actually WMOT up there, and it was nice of her to invite me to be part of her series.
Yeah, she's a good singer-songwriter herself. We've had her on our TV show.
Oh, great! Well, that's what I've heard. I mean, that's what I heard from the radio promotion guy who introduced us. So
Yeah, she comes from a
I'm
musical
looking forward to
family.
that.
Yeah, again, we're
Oh, does she? I didn't know
yeah.
that.
Her dad's a former police officer, and he plays guitar and sings and writes songs too.
Oh, no kidding. A lot of Johnny Cash prison songs. Just kidding.
You'd think so, being a former cop. That's That's Claudia
Uh,
Nygaard calling from Nashville, and you can see her live tomorrow night. And we're going to play your new single here in a moment called Lucky Girl. That's a cool story about how you got the idea for that. You ran into your hero, John Prine, outside a movie theater. Why don't you tell that story?
oh yeah, it was what a lovely night. Well, I was going in to see a movie, actually the same movie he was coming out of. It was a Meryl Streep movie, and I was walking across the parking lot, and I saw him, and I said, "John!" And because of the way I saw it, I was so excited. He thought he knew me, and I used to do the weather on TV, and people would do that to me a lot.
Hmm.
They would think that they knew me because I was in their living room every night, but they couldn't quite place me. And I could see him scratching his head and going, well, okay, I know her. Where do I know her from? And so I said, look, you don't know me. I'm just a huge fan. I said, I'm a singer-songwriter, and you've been a tremendous influence on me. And boy, I've met a lot of stars in Nashville, and he's the only one who ever asked me how I was doing. And he said, well, how's it going for you? And I said, well, I'm not playing the venues you are, but I said, I'm making a living playing my own songs. And he said, well, you're quite a success then, aren't you? I thought it was pretty generous of him. He was
Yeah.
such a great guy. Really a humble person, and not pretend humble. A lot of artists are pretend humble. He
Yeah.
was seriously humble. I mean, he really was. He had that humility, and it was just great. He sat there. He stood there and talked to me for like 20 minutes. It was really nice. Really nice guy. And we had a big loss with both him and Guy Clark. Guy Clark was a big loss too for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Guy
went home
Clark
and,
kissed me one time.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is a funny story too. I'd gone to hear him play, and I waited I met him, and I gave him my CD. I said, my name is Claudia Nygaard, and I said, the same thing I said to John. I said, you've been a huge influence on me, and I said, I'd really like to give you my CD. I said my name is Claudia. I didn't say my last name, and he said, well, thank you, darling. And he took the CD and he kissed me on the forehead, and then he said, I thought maybe Rodney said you might be out tonight, because Rodney Crowell's wife's name is Claudia. That's what he thought I was.
Oh, cool.
So, but he still kissed me.
My girlfriend likes to tell
Uh,
a story about the time she got kissed by Tom Jones at a concert. She was in the
Oh,
front
really?
on the front row, and she was invited up on stage and tongue and everything.
Oh no, no, that was no. I don't think I'd like that.
No,
Even from Guy Clark, I wouldn't like that.
she liked it, but it sounds kind of
But
creepy to me.
yeah, I think I'd be creeped out.
That's Claudia
Who knows where that
Nygaard.
thing's been?
We're talking to Claudia Nygaard, and you said you did the weather on television. Was that in the Nashville market there?
No, that was in California. I did that when I was going to college in San Jose.
Oh,
I had I had done a talent show thing and won the talent show thing, and the advertising guy who was running the talent thing got me called up the rate that well he knew the guys that, of course he booked advertising, so he knew the guys at the station, and told the news director he should give me an audition. So he did, and I got the job.
fantastic.
So it was pretty fun. I did it for about 2.5 years, and then I got laid off, and then I met this guy who played guitar in one of the clubs nearby, and the rest is history, as they say.
And you're an independent
ended up playing
songwriter
with
now.
him.
You're independent now?
Yes.
Isn't
Yeah.
that
I
great?
used to write on the row. Yeah, it is. I mean, I really am glad I had a job writing for Greenwood Music on Music Row, Greenwood Music Publishing, and I'm really glad I had that because it gave me an idea of how the business works,
Mm-hmm.
and it also taught me the craft of songwriting really well. I don't think I'd have won the contests that I've won. I won Kerrville, and I also won the Tumbleweed Music Festival competition with the song "You're Gonna Play Them."
Yeah.
And so I don't think I would have had the ability to learn the craft part of songwriting had I not had that job. But it is kind of a formulaic way to write, and I just didn't want to write I wanted to be able to write in a lot of different formats and I just wanted to write whatever came into my head, and it wasn't enough freedom for me writing on contract like that, So I bought my songs back and left,
Good for you.
which it's not often that you get to do that, but I had what's called a key man clause, and they fired the key man, and I had the option to buy my songs and leave, and I did. They were really surprised.
Good for you. I was in I was in the corporate radio world for years and got laid off 12 years ago and went on my own, never looked back, and been producing my own television show from here in my home studio and doing this radio thing. And but it was the same way. I learned my craft while I was working in the corporate world, and it just got to be too much BS. And now they're just laying everybody off. Nobody can keep their jobs. So I'm patting myself on the back when I read about my friends losing their jobs every day almost. But
Oh, I know. Yeah. And I feel the same way. It's like I've had a great career, especially since I won Kerrville. That opened up a whole new way of making a living, for me, doing concerts and house concerts and festivals and stuff that I didn't even know about when I was writing on the row,
Yeah, that's Claudia Nygaard.
It turned out to be a good thing.
You can see her live tomorrow at the Seven Oaks Event Center at the Southeast Texas Listening Room. Again, that's at 14865 Garner Road in Beaumont, Texas. And I believe for the folks living here, it's actually LaBelle, Texas. And it's right by the Pine Tree Lodge, a famous watering hole in Southeast Texas. You mentioned John Prine, and that led to your meeting him, led to your song, Lucky Girl.
Yeah, that, and also what I want to tell the audience is that every verse in this song is a true story from my family. Actually happened, and I started thinking about it, and after that meeting with John, because what I had said to him was, he said, well, you're quite a success in it, and I said, yeah, I'm a very lucky girl, and it kind of stuck in my mind. I get most of my song ideas out of my own mouth. I'll say something and then I think, oh, that's a good idea for a song, and write it down. But anyway, that kind of stuck in my mind. And then shortly after that, I was on tour up in Wisconsin, which is where my great-grandparents were from, and Minnesota, and with a name like Nygaard, that's probably no surprise. But but anyway, I was up there on tour, and as I was up there and checking out things, I was, revisiting the family history. I went through this whole box of cardboard. I actually gone up to play at the centennial of my mother's hometown, Grenora, North Dakota, which nobody's ever heard of. It was a tiny little town about, 10 miles from Montana and about 20 miles from Canada, way up in the northwest corner. And I finally went through this big box of stuff from the family tree that my mother had left me when she died. She said, "Here, go through this stuff." And there were letters there that were translated from the Norwegian that I had never read. And I started reading these stories, and I was just stunned, at how rough my family had it. The challenges of almost drowning. And there's a line in Lucky Girl in the first verse about my great grandfather they'd gone, of course, in those days, there was no cars,
Yeah.
So, and in Norway, the best way to transportate yourself was to go down the coast in a boat, So they'd gone down the coast in a boat to a party, and they were on their way back, and a storm came up, and I guess the boat capsized, and four friends of my great-great-great-grandfather drowned.
Oh.
And my great-great-great-grandfather grabbed a hold of the hull of the boat and grabbed my great-great-great-grandmother by the hair and pulled her up out of the North Sea. And that's why I'm here today. Because if he hadn't been able to grab her by the hair, you wouldn't be having this conversation. And
that's a great story.
And then it is. And that's the first verse. And the second verse is about my mother's side of the family, and they settled in the Dakotas during and diphtheria came, wiped out 4 of their children in 2 weeks' time. It was January, and the ground was frozen, and they couldn't bury them. They had put them in a granary for the winter.
Wow,
and I can't imagine losing 4.
That's an incredible story, and it's neat that they left such a great record for you to read.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, it was all that stuff came floating down, as I was driving around, and I went to all these graves and stuff. I think I went to 10 graves in 10 days. And as I was doing this, I kept thinking, man, they had it so rough. And I complained about all kinds of stuff, and I've got there's that saying too, that if you live in a home, it's not a saying, this is a fact. If you live in a house with heat and air and a roof over your head and electricity, you live better than 90% of the people in the world.
Yeah.
We don't think about that in America. I mean, we bitch because, we've got this vaccine. I mean, we bitch about this virus. Well, in World War II, in World War I, in 1918, when they had the Spanish flu, they not only didn't have a vaccine, they were in the trenches with this flu.
Yeah.
Dying, in muddy trenches in Germany. I mean, it's just, we are spoiled.
Hopefully
and we don't
after
want to wear a mask.
After we get past this vaccine, I mean, after the pandemic, I think people maybe appreciate the life a little bit better now. That's
well, I know I do.
Claudia Nygaard. Let's hear that song now. Lucky Girl on King's Country.
Great.
My great-great-great-granddaddy on my mama's father's side went rowing down the Norway coast with 4 friends and his bride when a big storm came around and all his 4 friends drowned, and there wouldn't be a me but when he rose up from the sea to gasp for air. Why, he had great-great-great-grandmama by the hair. And my great-granddaddy on my mama's side homesteaded in North Dakota back in 1885. He built a house of earth where his wife gave birth. Then diphtheria hit town and took 4 of their kids down. The ground was froze. couldn't bury them till springtime flowers rose. And I complain about the weather, I complain about warm beer, I complain I'm getting older, when I'm lucky I'm still here. I complain about the driving, and you know that that's just wrong. When I get to where I'm going, I get paid for singing songs. I complain about no boyfriend when I'm loved around the world. Oh, the truth is I'm a lucky, 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 lucky girl. And then there's my grandmother on my father's side, married to a man who drank, she had to leave behind. She raised her kids alone, worked her fingers to the bone, washing other people's floors, 'cause she was so damn poor, that's what you do. When you got kids and all they've got is you. And I complain about the weather, I complain about warm beer, I complain I'm getting older, when I'm lucky I'm still here. I complain about the driving, and you know that that's just wrong. When I get to where I'm going, I get paid for singing songs. I complain about no boyfriend when I'm loved around the world. Oh, the truth is I'm a lucky, 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 lucky girl. Yeah, the truth is I'm a lucky, 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 lucky girl.
That's Lucky Girl on King's Country with Claudia Nygaard. I still got her on the phone here, and you can see her live at the Seven Oaks Event Garden, Southeast Texas Listening Room. Tomorrow night, it's in LaBelle, Texas. That's at 14865 Garner Road in Beaumont, Texas. A fine little listening room that Courtney Riviere, Hale Riviere owns. And I'm excited to go there, and I can't wait to see you. And it's my first time there at the venue, and I've seen some pictures on Facebook. It really looks cool.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm excited to play it. I've got a couple of friends that play it from Nashville. I can't remember who they are right now, but a couple of them were telling me that it was really a nice venue. So it'll be fun. Tell you what, I'm just glad to be gigging again. I mean, after a year and a half, this is my first tour since COVID hit. So it's pretty exciting. I played last night and I was on fire. I was just like, I had all this energy. It was like a year and a half worth of energy stored up, and it's all coming out this week, But it's so nice to sing to people, and see. I've been doing a lot of live streaming, but you don't see people's faces,
Yeah,
so
I bet you missed the paycheck too.
Well, there's that also.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's more fun, when you're singing to people and you can see their reactions to the songs and stuff, It's performing is such a circle, when you have an audience that is listening and is really into it, it's kind of like, boy, I thought that was good. Wait till you hear this one, It's like it's a circle that builds on itself and works conversely too. If you like in the old days when I was playing bars, and if people weren't listening, if the energy is all going out and nothing is coming back, you kind of give up a little bit. An audience gets what they deserve,
right?
Because if they respond, well, you give more. It's just a natural human thing that you want to give to people who are giving to you, So
I can't wait to see you.
I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Yeah, I'd like to meet you, and I will meet you. We're going to be out there tomorrow night. Again, it opens at 6:30. They got an opening act. It's Meredith Page opening. She's from Lumberton. That's the Seven Oaks Event Center, Southeast Texas Listening Room, 14865 Garner Road in Beaumont. It's actually LaBelle, right near the Pine Tree Lodge. So we'll be out there. Can't wait. And just chomping at the bit here.
Me too.
So you have a safe trip down to Southeast Texas. And
I
Really
will.
look forward to it.
I'm actually playing in Houston this afternoon.
Oh, are you?
So yeah, I'm playing. You know, this is International Music Day. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's always on June 21st, which is also, I think, the first day of spring, isn't it? Or summer, first day of summer.
I thought it was.
And,
It's also
I
National
first
Selfie Day.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not doing that. Not until after I get dolled up, anyway. But I've got. I first discovered it when I was playing in France, and I had a gig on the 21st, and it was just like you could shoot a cannon through the joint because there was music everywhere for free on the street, and people playing on their porches and playing in the squares, and just everywhere. Music was everywhere. So Houston is celebrating that this year, and so there's a group that has invited me since I'm in town to be part of their thing this afternoon. I'm playing around 5:00, and it's gonna be fun because I know a lot of people that are playing it, so that'll be fun. But then I'll head on down tomorrow, so I don't have that far to drive.
So maybe some of our listeners will head over there this afternoon. But you mentioned the Kerrville Music Festival. Are you familiar with the name Frank Martin Gilligan?
Yeah, I know Frank.
Yeah, he's in the Houston
Didn't
area.
he had a songwriter night I played here in town in Houston. I
He's
think
good.
he had a yeah. I like him. He's a nice guy too.
Your song sounds great. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying it was fun playing his songwriter night.
We love that song, Lucky Girl. Can't wait to hear it live tomorrow night.
You.
It's really good
It's
stuff.
fun to play.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you calling me. I called you. It was nice speaking with you.
You did. Well, I'm glad we got a chance to chat, and I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Yeah, I look forward to meeting you tomorrow night, Claudia. Tomorrow night at the Seven Oaks Event Garden. And you have a great show tonight, and safe travels, too.
Yes, I will, and I'm going to come down there a little early because I heard about a store I needed to go to down there in Beaumont. So I'm going to be
music
coming
store?
in town early and just drop by. No, I think it's shoes.
Oh, okay.
It's a shoe store, I think. So anyway, I think it's a shoe store. It might be a clothing store that has shoes, but anyway, there's a particular pair of shoes I've been looking for that they have. So I'm going to get down there early enough to do a little shopping. I always like to leave all the money that I make in the town where I make it.
Well, look forward to seeing you and the shoes tomorrow night.
Okay, great. It's funny. All right. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Claudia. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Claudia Nygaard headlines tomorrow night at the Seven Oaks Event Garden, Southeast Texas Listening Room, 14865 Garner Road in Beaumont, actually LaBelle, Texas, near the Pine Tree Lodge. Cruise on over there and catch the opening act, too. Meredith Page opening up. She's from Lumberton. And thanks for streaming King's Country at kingscountry.net.